Okay, no lie. I have so much going on right now. It is insane. There is no creative, fun intro for this video. There's just not gonna be. No way, come back! My ring light has tried thrice now to kill me. It may be time to get a new ring light. Hi, my name is Maggie, aka Kitschy Whips, here on Flosstube and on Instagram. And right about now is the time I say, sorry it's been so long. I so appreciate the outpouring of love and support for my previous video, which was my video all about Chatelaine. I'm obsessed with Chatelaine. Which, you know what, we're just gonna jump in. I don't have a list. I never have a list. I'm acting like I normally have a set list for these things, and I do not. But I've got a meeting later on this afternoon. I've got to take the baby to get his hair cut, on top of retreat. If you missed the announcement, yes, Amy and I are throwing a Chatelaine themed retreat in summer next year, 2025. It is going to be a much smaller event. It is going to be a much more exclusive event. It is going to be the same sit around and stitch with your besties and have the most amazing weekend ever. Either, ever, both, or neither. Anyway, just look for more details coming out. We have some stuff planned for y'all. You don't want to miss this. You just don't want to miss it. Just don't miss it, okay? Ella from Chatelaine is not going to be present, so if that makes a difference for you, I just want to make that clear. Amy and I have met with Ella from Chatelaine. She has given us her blessing, and we are going forward like nobody's business. Make sure you're in our Facebook group, Queen City Retreat Stitchers. Follow us on Instagram at Queen City Stitch Retreat. Follow Amy, she's Fiber Arts Amy. Follow me, I'm Kitschy Whips. Ta-da! Now, I think that was it, really. I'm really dying to give you more info, but I can't. Now, for what you all came here for, and something that I've been forgetting to do for quite a while, is intro the stitching. Time for stitching. Let's get it on. I finally found Princess Eliana's thread box, which was the whole reason why I had stopped working on her. I could not find this to save my life. It was in a safe place. And I remember when I put it in that safe place telling myself, oh, I'm never going to remember what that is. And narrator, she in fact did not remember where that was. This is where I'm at with her. I wonder if I could just hold it up. This is a piece of fiberlicious linen. It is called April Showers, Bring May Flowers. It was a fabric of the month. And I don't know if Gwen has added it to the shop yet or not. Yes, she will be extremely tight on the fabric. And quite frankly, that is the framer's problem. I just stitch it. I started a new Chatelaine called Spring Knot Garden. I can't talk today. Spring Knot Garden. I'm going to pop up a picture here so that you can see, because I don't have it. In fact, my whole project is hanging out in this. Don't tell anybody. This is where I've gotten with it. Spring Knot Garden. I am subbing out quite a few of the materials because I just don't have them. And I have to be honest with you, I don't want to go buy them. I am at my end buying things. So I really wanted to start this Chatelaine. It's sweet and fresh and pretty, and I just wanted to start it. I didn't have the treasure braid or like the fancier stuff, the variegated stuff, but guess what I do have? A crazy amount of Krynic and water lilies and other stuff like that, thanks to Mirabilia. So we are just subbing out, and guess what? I can do that because it's my project. And you can do that too. Speaking of Chatelaine, there's also an update on my Halloween kitty mandala. And now that Amy and I are doing the Chatelaine retreat, which we have been wanting to do for years, We finally cracked it on how we wanted to do it, and it's just going to be a spectacular weekend, y'all. I'm not even exaggerating. And y'all know how I love to exaggerate. This is Halloween Kitty Mandala. It is not quite that, you know how fabric goes. It's not that modeled in real life. But this is where I'm at. I'm almost finished with this second corner here. I've just got to do the over one spiders and bats that are on that side. I just have to do those there. And then that corner will be done. And then just two more little pumpkin corners. They each have a different face, which is fun. And this one is it's a great easy stitch. I'm really hoping to have it finished by the retreat next year. Next year, woo! We're just gonna keep going with chatelaines because I freaking love chatelaine. Ugh, I just love it. I feel so fancy and so bougie. Like I should be sipping martinis while I stitch it. You probably shouldn't do that, but man, I could go for a really good gin and tonic right now. Because y'all, my life has been nuts. In a good way, but I'm ready for a break. Okay, anyway, enough of that. Here is Summer Garden Mandala by Chatelaine. It's much better lighting there. I've started working on this section here. Lots of fun specialty stitches in there. Of course, there'll be a butt ton of beads in there. And we're just going along. There. My beautiful friend Nadine. NASDAQ Stitch is like smoking through her Summer Garden mandala. And it's so beautiful. If you want to see a ton of chatelaines and beautiful stitching and knitting, I think she even crochets. Go make sure you're subscribed to Nadine because she is gorgeous, gorgeous stitcher. Love her stuff. Check her out. This one is not a chatelaine, but honestly, it's right up there with the designers that you're like, why do you have to be so beautiful? Yet so much work. Teresa Winsler, of course. This is Lady of Shalott. So I don't know if there's any hardcore old school Anna Green Gable fans here. Gables. There's more than one Gable. The Gables. I was obsessed with the Lady of Shalott poem. I don't even know if that's the name of the poem, but Anne kind of recites that as she's going down the river in this boat that ends up springing a leak, and then Gilbert has to save her, and she's all embarrassed. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I love this pattern. I got this. I mean, look at this. It's full coverage. I think there's like one space here in the window that doesn't have stitching in it, but at that point, geez. Anyway, it's gorgeous. Now, for those of you with zero Teresa Winsler experience, let me tell you, number one, you should have the experience. Try it. Find one that you like the look of. There's some that aren't like crazy out of print, expensive. There's plenty out there of her work. She is an experience all on her own, like chatelaine or stitching a Mirabilia or I guess really any other designer, but they all have their little quirks and idiosyncrasies in the way they do things, and Winsler is no exception. This is one corner, and that may not look like much to you, and I totally understand. But this is like a milestone lifetime achievement to me. It has like, these are all blends. These blues, I think there's like blue purples in the corners here. I think that was like three blend. I just want to say that like, if this is all I ever stitch of this, I'm going to frame it. I'm just going to frame this one corner and be like, woo! Believe it or not, I actually did some work also on my Thomas Kincaid Snow White Discovers the Cottage. She discovers it. This is an out of print pattern. It is full coverage. I don't have a lot of experience with full coverage, or if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I accidentally always call them Hades, even though Hades stands for Heaven and Earth Designs, which is a designer and shop. That is not the name for the technique that these are, which is full coverage. This is where I'm at. Which again, this does not look like much. But for me, it was amazing. This is the top. This is the top of the pattern itself. And then I started doing this brown color and was like, oh, I'll just keep going. And then realized I'm just working all the way down to the bottom. Well, actually not even the bottom. It's the middle of the pattern. It's this tree right here. How are y'all doing? You doing okay? You able to get some stitching done? I have not been able to watch like any Flosstube recently. It has been very little. And the little bit that I have been able to watch, I kind of have to watch on my phone while the baby's like, I'm trying. I did watch a new to me channel this week, which was the Soul Stitchers. I will link them down below. A couple of friends just having fun, stitching all this cool stuff. And I really enjoyed myself watching the video. I love watching people that don't stitch necessarily what I stitch. Go check out their videos. They're brand new. Give them some love. This is Blue Moroccan Lace from Chatelaine. This is a very popular chatelaine, which I kind of think is funny. It's not bad that it's popular, but this is one of the very few, well, I shouldn't say very few, I guess. It's one of the basically full coverage pieces. So I'm always kind of surprised when someone starts with this. I'm very pleased because it is gorgeous and there's a reason it's so popular. But I don't know, stitching this myself, I don't know that I would pick that for my first. But then again, let's be honest. If somebody came to me and said, I've never stitched a chatelaine and I love Blue Moroccan Lace, what should I do? Of course, I'm going to tell them to start it. I might warn them, but if that's what you want to stitch and that means you stitch a chatelaine, then you get the Blue Moroccan Lace. You do whatever you want to do. Your time, your money, or as Mama would say, it's your dime, spill it. Nobody's going to get that joke anymore because you don't use dimes to make phone calls. You don't use coins to make phone. Do we use coins for anything anymore? Things, they are changing. This next one is a new start. I couldn't help it. I've been wanting to stitch it for a while, but then I was like, I wasn't sure about the fabric and I wasn't sure about the color of thread I wanted to use. And then I remembered that I had gotten this fat half, thank you very much, of fabric from Barefoot Needle Art. It was one of their quarter of the month fabrics. This one is Flamingo Fabric of the Quarter. And I decided to use this to stitch Cremine Elegant Lace. Works by ABC. I think it's Elegant. So if you've been around for a while, there you can kind of see the pink a little bit better. If you've been around for a while, you know that I'm obsessed with Arlene from Works by ABC. I just find her extremely fascinating. I find the way her mind works to be fascinating because it seems to be the opposite way that my brain works, which I find fascinating. Arlene just has a very intellectual mind. And she comes up with these gorgeous, thoughtful patterns. I've decided to use just straight up black 310 for mine. So it's going to look like black lacy on pink on this more muted shade of pink. And I don't know, it just kind of reminded me, do you remember, I guess the only time period I can think of is the 80s, but I know that it's transcends time. I really like the black and pink together. And if I've skipped over everything I've just said and all you're seeing is what I'm saying to you right now, it is because I went off on an 80s lace tangent and don't nobody want to watch that. So I cut it out. I love it. Charlotte from Mirabilia. This was the official unofficial sal for the Queen City Stitch Retreat last year in 2023. I am stitching her on this gorgeous piece of Grace Notes Fabrics fabric. This is Mint Chocolate Chip. I believe this is available and I highly recommend it. It is just this really awesome brown and green color. And I love the way that she looks on it. I am only stitching the top half of her. So this line right here is where the pattern cuts. The rest of her dress is down there. I am just stitching from that middle part up, and that's all I'm going to stitch. I have a shadow box that I'm going to put her in because for some reason she looked kind of elvish to me, like a little elf princess. So I am going to stitch her. I'm going to finish stitching her and bead her, what is showing. And I'm going to put her in a shadow box, and I'm going to fill that shadow box with moss and branches and all sorts of mixed media type stuff and make her a little elf place to live. This is Persephone from Mirabilia. One of my absolute favorites that I'm just now starting. Not just now starting, but just recently have really been wanting to stitch. I'm using another gorgeous fiberlicious fabric. This one is Maldives. This is a regular color that Gwen has in her shops. You can get this right now, and I'm just going to tell you, you should do it, because this, I could use a whole bolt of this fabric for mermaids and fairy, I mean anything. Look at it. Isn't that the most gorgeous blue-green you've ever seen? I just love it. I've been working a lot on her dress. I started in the center with her as well, but then I went down instead of up, so I'm doing all of the dress stitching, and mamma mia, that's a lot of stitching. Oof. It's going to be worth it. She's really going to fill up that fabric. But again, what do we say? That's the framer's problem. Don't worry, they love me there. I've got a little bit of update on my Wonka from Miss Peggotty Peggotty. This is Gene Wilder as Willie Wonka. She recently came out with an Elvira one. And I'm hoping that means that Pee-wee might be around the corner, because Elvira and Pee-wee are friends in real life. So I need them. Okay. Still working on his face, but look at that. You can see Gene Wilder in there. Look. I'm using a basic purple Ada. 16 count. 14 count. There you go. It's just a lavender Ada. Because he's pretty much full coverage. You're not really going to see the fabric. But I would like a little bit of that. I don't know. I just thought the purple would look good on him. This is the Woodland Fairy from Mirabilia. This one recently went out of print this year. Boo. But she is one of those classic ones. And as soon as I saw this fiberlicious fabric, I just had to stitch her on it. It's Winter Musings, which was, I think, one of the last fabrics of the month that I received, because I'm not in the club anymore. Being responsible sucks a butt. And you can quote me on that. I keep hitting the camera. I'm sorry. Like I said, my ring light has taken a bounty out on me, apparently. This is where I've gotten on her. I'm going to go back so you can see the fabric a little bit better first. And that's where I've got on her. Her golds. I mean, there are a lot of yellows in there. And it's just so pretty. So this is her dress. This is going up into her bodice. And these are her knees right there. Back here behind my pillows is the exclusive retreat pattern designed by Erin Houston of Autumn Lane Stitchery, who is our guest designer for the 2024 Queen City Stitch Retreat. I want to show you so bad, but I cannot. But it's really good. Ooh. The Muse by Mirabilia. I've not done a lot on this. One of my silks turned out to be similar to one of the other silks, and I was just kind of like, I don't like that so much. That's where I am on that. This is from Seraphim Fabric. Isn't it pretty? This is the one that I'm stitching with Musings with Jillian and Fiber Arts Amy. Just doing a very casual stitch along with the Muse, but we have all converted her to silks instead of the DMC. And I've shown this bag before, but this is one of my bags. I guess I'll just talk about this now. Surprise announcement. I'm opening up a shop, y'all. It is called Kitschy Stitch, And I am running the shop with my friend Mary, who is not a full-time cross stitcher. She mostly knits with some cross stitching. I just totally spit over you, I'm sorry. With some cross stitching thrown in when she has time to raid my stash and just, you know, take my stuff. But she is an amazing seamstress. And if you went to 2023's Queen City Stitch Retreat, the little Notions bag, my friend Mary made all of those. And she is also making something for 2024 attendees. But I can't say any more than that. But what I can say is she has been busy making me a ton of bags. They're all going to be this kind of style. If you know me, you know that I am going to pick different fabrics, and each bag will come with a coordinating needle minder and a coordinating zipper pull / scissor fob. That will be included. They're very simple bags, but they're a lot of fun. In fact, here is my little label for Kitschy Stitch. I don't know if I can... This is one of the bags that will be hitting the shop. It is Gem and the Holograms because I love them. They're just very simple bags, but Mary is amazingly talented, and so that will be one. The Spam bag that I just showed you, I think I've got maybe 2 of those. There's another one that I'm not going to show you because I'm too lazy to get it, but it is adorable. This is something that has been in my mind forever, and that is my Knuff bag. It basically, if you have seen the Barbie movie, I don't really need to explain this anymore. If you have not seen the Barbie movie, this is going to look like the freaking tackiest thing to you. And quite frankly, that's what I want. I love Kitschy Stitch is about amazing stitching accessories that are kitsch and tacky and crazy and me. So, and Mary. I found this horse fabric and I was like, oh no, I gotta have that. And then we found this saucy fringe and pink cowboy hats, of course. And that is the inside. These will also have the matching zipper pulls and needle minders, but I'm not going to show you those yet. I have to be honest, I don't know when I'm launching. I don't know when I'm opening. Right now, I'm just collecting all this fun stuff, and I keep finding other fun stuff. We eventually want to have bags for knitting and crochet as well, since Mary knits and I crochet. We are hoping to have some actually fun, maybe kitschy crocheted accessories for around the house, and more, I don't know, just if I find fun stuff, then the fun stuff goes up and gets made and added to the shop as possible. I think that might be it. This is going to be a very short video, y'all. Yeah, this feels extremely short. Keep an eye out for Shadowland Retreat information in the summer. We will still be having our regular retreat in the fall in October in 2025. There will be 2 Queen City Stitch retreats, Shadowland in the summer and then our fall retreat. All right, sorry it is short and sweet. A lot going on. I've got a meeting this afternoon that if it goes well, there might be some other stuff added to the shop that I have not talked about yet. Thank you so much for liking, for subscribing, for leaving comments. That not only just makes my day, but it also tells YouTube that, maybe somebody else might want to watch this video. So it really does help. Even if it's not my channel, whenever you're watching a Flosstube, give a subscribe, give a like, leave a comment. They make the day of the person shooting the Flosstube, but it also tweaks YouTube's algorithms so they're not just lost into a black hole. And there's a lot of great Flosstubes out there. And honestly, if you're not watching my Flosstube, I just want you to be watching any Flosstube. Just like with the stitching. I don't care what you stitch. I want to see it because stitching is awesome. And as long as you're stitching, that's good enough for me. And now we're friends. Let's just hang out and talk about stuff we like. That's not hard, right? I'll see you guys soon. Needles crossed. Okay.